Hey guys.
Today we have a war duel between Ultra Plant and Planet God Lelouch. With me, I have Mugen Das and Vongola Segundo. And I myself am Sonary.
Hey.
So
Okay, I'm gonna call it now, but I reckon Ultra Plant is playing Burning Abyss.
Nah, I think he's Qliphort.
Really?
yeah.
Okay, so who went first?
Planet God Lelouch.
Okay, so
Going
who won? Rock, paper,
first.
scissors? Was it Lelouch who won? Okay, I'll start. That makes me think Burning Abyss.
Or Qliphort.
Yeah.
But the question is, in this format, do you want to go first?
I think whilst Qliphort's the builds that are playing more trap heavy, they still want to go first. The ones that are playing Storm don't really mind. I think they favour going second, particularly as they will be able to like destroy more back row or get more value out of Storm and Sacrifice in their scales.
Because that's the thing, every deck apparently wants to OTK it, except for Satella, in my opinion. Qliphorts want to go Kitty Cat, Scout, and then go off and take you out. Shaddolls want to play the 8,000 game to take you out. And Burning Abyss now with Farfa, you can say they have an OTK pusher.
Yeah, they've always been able to OTK. It's just now they can do it more easily with Farfa removing cards. Farfa and Virgil just clear monsters so easily.
I don't see anyone playing Quad Eye.
Call of Duty has also left the Qliphort deck list, to my knowledge.
I've still seen a few people. Like, I'm still playing through it. Okay, that's an Eclipse Wyvern. Shadolls.
Yeah, that's definite.
Yeah. That's quite interesting, actually. Okay, so Eclipse Wyvern's banishing the Dark Hound.
Unless he has it in hand. But
unless he has it in hand, in which case he'll have to reveal it.
But this could possibly...
Oh, wow.
This could actually possibly be OTK.
It could be. But, I mean, like, the entire concept of Shadow's right now is to do that 8,000 damage. Or at least against Qliphort, 7,200. So a little bit easier.
Heck, not even 72. I think your main goal is to make sure that they cannot pay the 800 life points. So in the case of Ultra Plant, 6,500.
Yeah.
Because...
Screened.
Black Dragon. Now in this case, I would XYZ, because then he doesn't get the Qliphort to the extra deck face up. Like, if he can't do anything to push.
Attacking.
Yeah.
Or not.
Oh, it's over. Well, it depends if he has a fusion with the Dark Arm.
Oh, skill drain. And Sacrifice resolving, so...
Wow.
What would you get with Sacrifice right now? Carrier? Helix?
Carrier to push for the OTK. Because you can search, and I assume he has a Qliphort in hand, so then... In my opinion, I think he's going to draw another Qliphort, then he'll search the Sacrifice, and then be able to set up more plays. But with Skill Drain up, he can just ram everything in the MST. Yep.
MST, wow.
That party is over.
I'm interested to know, why did he XYZ before attacking? I mean, surely he should have expected some form of back row. Wouldn't it have been safer to play around Skill Drain or Vanti's Emptiness or something like that?
That is true.
I mean, especially with Skill Drain. I mean, if that was in main phase 2, if he could normal summon a monster, there would have been a chance he wouldn't have enough life points to... Well, he already normal summoned Eclipse Wyvern, so forget that. But definitely, I still think it was better to attack first.
But if he did the play that you did, then the other guy would have taken 21 plus 18, so that's 39, and then the Levolvo chain would have baited out the skill drain, so he would have done 49 that turn.
So yes,
It's still not enough. I think we should make that clear that it's not enough regardless.
But it's still a good bit of damage that he missed out on.
And considering that he set an enemy controller, there was always a potential chance that if he had another monster in hand, particularly like with the play we've seen now, that's a 3100 attack disc on board. So,
never mind.
There's hidden armory for Shaddoll. It's a shame that it was a BLS build, but yeah.
You know what the thing is? A lot of people were teching that hidden army, but you lose so much for so little, though. Because
I have to disagree to some extent, because before Shaddoll came off the list, there was this whole concept of creature swap in Shaddolls, particularly sided against Qliphorts, because they usually had just one monster on board, and taking something like a sacrificed monster it's a pretty big swing, particularly in tempo, and the fact that you're taking the only real threat at that point.
Yeah, but I feel with hidden army you have to have a fusion, and you have to have enough to go into construct to further your game state, because going into Winda, unless you're OTKing, you didn't further your game state along the way. When with your normal summon of Mathematician or Raiden, you're furthering your game state, and also you can possibly go on the turns after. In this case now, he literally has to depend on what he's going to draw.
Yeah.
And that's basically luck. Like, the game is already based on luck the minute you go into your 5 cards. And I think we all are trying to control the luck base as much as possible to avoid, oh my god, I wish I had that.
Yeah, definitely. But, okay, so what do we know about the game right now? We know that Ultraplant has a dragon in hand.
And the Dark Arm. So we know that it's basically over for Ultraplant.
So, do you remember what monsters are in the graveyard right now? Because we know there's a Blackluster Soldier in there.
And the Black Dragon.
The Collapse Serpent.
Yeah, and Levolvo Chain. That's all.
Levolvo Chain. So he still needs another two Darks in there to make Dark Arm live.
But even then, Dark Arm isn't anything with skill drain up. And you can say all the Qliphorts are going to be 31, because right now Planet God Lelouch can just be Pendulum Summon a whole field, and then he can just push over the Snatch Steel disc.
Yeah, like he's doing right now.
Ooh, I don't think I would have summoned
the Scout?
Yeah.
I think it's there because he's afraid of either a second hidden armory or potentially enemy controller, particularly at 1,000 life points. He is clearly telegraphing that his other 2 back row aren't things that deal with monsters attacking. So it's unlikely it's anything like compulsory, which we usually see in Qliphorts. Normally, the back row tends to revolve around things like MST, Skill Drain, compulsory, Trap Stun, Vanity's Emptiness. I think we've seen a couple of cards like quirky text, like Magical Hats to trigger off Sacrifice and things like that, but it's usually the back row is just Floodgates.
GG.
That is over. That is definitely over.
Well, that's 13, 13, 31, 31. So that's 62 plus 26. Yeah.
GG.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's really much Ultraplant could have done about that.
Damage-wise, he could have, because had he had done the other play.
Damage-wise, he could have, but I don't.
You can see that they're friends. Just check how they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
But damage-wise, had he had attacked with the other 2 first, and then overlaid into Levolvo Chain, then he might have lived a little bit longer. Because as we saw, he was down. Well, his opponent, Planet God Lelouch, was down to 1,000.
Yeah.
And that's excluding the damage that he would have taken had Ultraplant just attacked for the 3,900.
Yeah.
Because I understand the rush to drop Dark Arm and, potentially OTK. Because I think in his case, he was hoping, okay, Lavalva Chain, send Squamata, Beast, and draw something off a Beast to make it deadly.
Yeah.
But that's a risky play. Safe would have been better. Like, especially if you're playing your worst matchup, I think you want to play as secured as possible. Like,
definitely.
There's no room for error.
So, what do you think they're siding in? We'll start with Ultraplant. What's he bringing in against Qliphort's?
I think most likely a third MSD if he's not maining 3, and Fairy Wind or Spell Shattering Arrow. Like seeing his build with Hidden Armory, I think he would want to go second, in all honesty, because he wants to push for the OTK as much as possible. So therefore, he would play Spell Shattering Arrow over Fairy Wind.
Yep, that's definitely true. With regards to Lelouch, do you think he might be thinking, or if he is siding, because I don't know if he is, Monarch Stormforce? Because what I found with Shaddolls is that if they do snatch steal your Qliphort monster, Stormforce and another monster in a hand actually really helps out, because it gets rid of the snatch steal, it lets you get your Qliphort on board, and then you can go off with that. And, the Qliphort monster that's been normal summoned, that's immune to Squamatas, things like that, is problematic.
The thing is that with the release of Secrets of Eternity, there's a new spell card that actually surges your Stormforth. If you can reveal a monster with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 attack or 1000 defense.
Yeah.
And 1000
And I mean, if you're playing Storm as well, it means, I know there's a restriction on that card that searches it. I think it's that you can't special summon from the extra deck, or Pendulum Summon. But if you're playing Storm, to some degree it might be mitigated, but then again, you're relying on essentially a 2-card combo, 3-card combo there, because you do have to still reveal either a Carrier or a Helix or a Disc or something along those lines.
Because in all honesty, now I would say Qliphorts can slowly shift away from the trap version.
Yeah, I mean, that Eclipse Wyvern seems to love being in Ultraplant's hand.
In all honesty, I prefer Eclipse in my hand than Felice. at least,
that is true.
At least with Eclipse, I can normal summon it. Felice is such a hard brick in the hand without a Shaddoll fusion to at least make it somewhat usable.
Yeah.
Do you usually late or side?
Felice has become a side card, but I personally don't even play it because I try to avoid brick cards as much as possible.
It's very hard to do in Shaddolls.
Yeah, that's most definitely. So every card has to have their value. And seeing as how Qliphorts always have floodgates, who's to say that Felice will always go off? Because first you have to go through a skill drain. If you go through that mathematician gets off. Then you have to try to get through a vanity. So I don't know the value in Felice anymore. Well, Ultraplan seems to be in a good position because he hasn't seen a single scout. And but let's be honest, that's Qliphort's main thing. Scout and then let's go. Every deck has their engine, but I believe Qliphorts are too dependent on the scout. Like, it's scout or bust.
I think they're less dependent on scout.
Now,
as they've got more monsters, particularly going into the new set. But having said that, scout is the heart and soul of the deck with sacrifice. So,
like, I personally consider Qliphort Satella Knights 3.0 because Satella Knights can only depend on Deneb.
I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, there's a big difference in the way Qliphorts play, even though they're still a linear deck. They're not exactly the same as Satellas. Satellas simply don't have that OTK potential. And, oh wow, that MSD. So, yeah, I mean, like, Ultraplant's in an even better position now.
I think it's all over for Lelouch here.
Maybe.
Because, like, Ultra Planet, according to me, has 1 dark now in the grave.
Yeah.
We know he runs Levolve All Chain, so he can just special summon the white, go into Levolve All Chain, Dark Arm is live, and it's game.
Yeah. I mean, assuming he detaches Dragon. Sends Squamata and Beast.
Here's the Dragon.
Yeah.
Squamata Beast.
Yeah. I mean, it's the expected play. I mean, anything else would telegraph either a Shaddoll fusion or something else in hand.
That's the thing, like,
you cheated.
I don't know, because
Okay.
he could have also gotten Hedgehog to have a normal summon in the background in case you never know that Lelouch is playing the Scarecrow, because Qliphort's player usually plays Scarecrow as well as a side card because they can because they can easily go Kitty Cat Scout, Pendulum summon 2 level 4s, and then Scout goes back to hand, and then XYZ into Gear Gaunt X to search the Scarecrow. But telegraphing that you have it is bad, but at least it might save you a turn or two.
Yeah, there are a few players who play Qliphorts and they're, switching to Curry Photon, so people can't use Gungnir, like Necros Gungnir, Book of Moon, Enemy Controller, all sorts of cards to, well, not Enemy Controller, but all sorts of cards to dodge the Scarecrow, which is quite an interesting turn of events.
I think in the next 2 weeks the game will be in a whole new state of mind that everyone will try to avoid the OTK stoppers.
Yeah, it's very much going to turn to, can you predict what your opponent has? Do you understand what your opponent has? And can you play around it?
And also, how much am I going to reveal that I have?
Yeah.
Because the minute you telegraph things, it's...
Yeah.
So now he's going for...
Like in this case, you could attempt the Felice play right here.
Yeah.
But then, seeing 2 back row, you always want to, will it get through? Because it could be vanities, it could be skill drain.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, like, we don't seem to have the response right now.
You see?
There's a vanity. Yeah.
Second vanity. What's a cool tech that some Shaddoll players do? Going game 3 and game 2.
Again. It really does love to be in Ultra Plant's hand.
Wow. If he has a black dragon, it's over already.
Yeah.
Seeing how he sent the Squamata, it says saving it in deck, I think that we can safely say he has the black dragon in hand, and Dark Arm will come down next turn. Yes, because that's now 3 darks in grave.
You can't technically make that play because the Shaddoll fusion's not there.
Then Black Dragon comes down.
That cheeky set.
Oh, the trolling.
Yeah, I think that's game.
Yeah, because like we said, telegraphing is what separates everyone from being a beginner and a professional. Because as a Shaddoll player, you want to keep as much of your Shaddolls in the deck so that when you have a Shaddoll fusion live, you have Shaddolls in deck to abuse it. So that's why most time people keep Squamata in unless it's needed, for example, a Falco play. But in the case from Ultra Plan, he didn't need to send Squamata, but seeing as how he had the Dark Arm live,
yeah,
He had to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, apparently he doesn't have it. The trolls.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, would you consider crashing math into it?
Every draw counts because if he doesn't have,
just as an option, I mean, would you rather see that one card more, or would you leave it on board? Because, okay, granted it's a helix, so he's not going to get an effect by attributing it.
I think in this case, I would have crashed Mathematicians, especially seeing as how he doesn't have Fairy Wind or Spell Shattering Eye or MSD. Lelouch can basically top deck Scout and maybe have Tramplings in hand, and that could definitely change the whole game.
I think we should state that, that the odds of this happening or that happening are very low. When you consider how many Tramplings do Qliphorts run now?
It depends on the version that you're playing, because there's actually two versions running popular now. The OTK version and the trap-based version. In the OTK version, you run 2 to 3 Tramplings. So, but seeing Lelouch's build, it's safe to say it's the trap version. So I would say maybe 2, but we know for sure 1.
Yeah.
But hey, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Anything is possible.
Yeah.
How many times have we all been like, oh, you can only win top deck BLS, that's your only out. And there he is.
Yeah. I don't know that.
Yep, that's the disc.
Now the question is, as Lelouch, do you crash disc into
He's going to switch for Scout.
Into Construct? What benefit would that give you as the Qliphort player? You don't have Scout.
Well, he's gonna get Scout now.
Mm-hmm.
By crash, I mean attacker for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Scout Monolith and Scout to hand. I mean, he always has the option to XYZ because he doesn't have any scales or anything. Oh, that's odd.
Oh, Volcosaurus.
Yeah.
And there we go.
And that's Construct, and that's the game, especially, overlay Gaia.
He just has to attack over because Volcosaurus can still make an attack. It's just he can't attack directly.
Yeah.
So technically, this is game.
No, this is very much game, regardless. The disc is 31. Volk is going to do 1,000, so that's 41. And then Helix Direct is game.
62 damage. 1,000 too much, man.
Yeah.
You see, as Ultra Plan, I think I would have crashed Mathematician for that extra draw. Because had he had an MST, meh. Might have made a difference. Might not.
Yeah, might not.
But that was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
Qliphort win. Yeah.
Good day, YouTube. And on to the next one.